Hi everyone! We are in Waldsassen, Germany, home base of Ghost Bike, a brand that belongs to the XL Group family. We're going to do a quick factory tour and we're gonna meet the guys who are designing the bike of tomorrow. So the riders.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's meet the guys. Hi Maxi,
Hey.
How are you?
We told
Good
you.
to see
Good
you.
to see you too,
It's
huh?
really a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely
Yeah.
welcome you. Hey. So, come in
Yeah?
and
Ready for a tour?
let's have an Italian coffee first.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's walk in.
What is this place?
Well, that's actually our new welcome desk. It has been our service department before, which is kind of cool. At Ghost, we love bars.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing in the bike industry, coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah, you cannot run like bike industry without coffee.
True words.
Yeah.
We always love to see is our Ghost manifesto here on the wall, written in big letters. Unfortunately, it's in German, huh? But what the manifesto says is what actually drives the employees that work here at Ghost. So the manifesto was also indeed written by our employees themselves.
I do like a lot the first sentence, that it's like everyone got talent.
And the second sentence says that everyone is part of the success.
Yeah.
Which is indeed true, huh?
Yeah.
And I also like the third sentence saying that everyone's opinion is worth to be heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Servus.
Servus.
Let's move to the showroom, which actually doesn't show anything right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, as we just had our internal house show last weekend.
Oh yeah.
So we moved all the bikes to Mainz, rims on the lights, handlebars as door openers.
Yeah. It's a nice concept.
So walk in.
Okay.
So yeah, well, we're moving towards the warehouse now, which is actually a big part of our facilities here in Waldsassen. That's the warehouse. It actually looks quite empty right now because production was running full on over the last weeks to have our upcoming 2020 models available from September on.
Yeah.
So they produced like with highest efficiency. Therefore, the stock becomes quite empty now. This is the entire warehouse where all the goods getting stocked. So what we do here in Waldsassen, we do assemble all our bio bikes, so all the non-E driven bikes. They are getting assembled in here. But we have a second assembly line in Hungary where all our e-bikes get assembled.
So that means that whole Ghost bikes are assembled in Europe.
Waldsassen.
Yeah. Waldsassen or Hungary. In Europe.
In Europe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A few years ago, there was a point where it seemed to be impossible for a company to produce, assemble, and distribute in Europe, starting from Europe, as the market is changing all the time.
True.
Yeah.
I think it's in general, at certain brands, you definitely see a strong mind shift happening. And I think this is not only related to the industry itself. I think it's really related to few people, maybe also a certain generation that understands that we have to change behaviors and we have to change our habits.
Yeah.
Also in terms of getting more responsibility for our planet. I mean, all the small parts coming here together. A lot of pre-work happens here already. For example, cutting the steering tubes of all the forks, assembling the steering tubes with the lower bearings. So that happens already here. So all the forks getting pre-adjusted to the racks, and then it all rolls into the assembly line.
How many bikes you can assemble in one day?
So if the production line is running full on, then we can assemble 400 bikes a day.
Wow.
That's quite impressive. It's even more impressive when you see the quality standards that we have, because you know, it's not like it's not like that common mass production where one guy does one job like bop, bop, bop. They're like dedicated persons doing several things. So they are like skilled bicycle mechanics. So they know exactly what they do, and they can do several steps, and that really rises our quality standards. So what we just set up is after we installed the third assembly line, we also installed an end-of-line check. So these two guys over here, they check every single produced bike.
Okay.
So every single produced bike has to undergo that so-called end-of-line check.
Okay.
And in case that those guys have any claims on the bikes, then it moves over to this place where we can do like individual treatments to the bike, where we can solve like little issues here and there,
okay,
to ensure that every bike comes with the same quality standard.
Cool, cool.
Gentlemen, step in. We see here is our wheel assembly line, and we just implemented some very new and high-end machines that I would like to show you, where we produce our high-end wheels right here in Waldsassen.
Okay.
The unique and cool thing about this machine is that the machine measures the spoke tension whilst tensioning the spokes. Okay. So there you can ensure that each spoke really has the same tension, and the process when having pressure on the spokes, that all happens within the machine.
Okay.
So the next room we will enter now is actually one of our most important departments. It's the service department. And actually the service department is split into two segments. On the one hand, we have the phone call service department, where dealers can call in terms they have technical questions. And why we're so proud about them is they yearly get rated like best rated within the industry ratings.
Cool.
So dealers really love and appreciate the quality that our service department offers.
Cool.
So,
aha!
Exactly. So that's the phone call service center. So they are always like in contact with dealers via phone. But all of them, they are bicycle experts themselves. And in case they cannot serve the dealer via phone, or that they need a bike, then they come here to the workshop, and they find everything they need here in the workshop. Also, if dealers have any problems with bikes that they can't solve themselves, they can send us the bikes here, and our mechanics will treat the bikes in here nicely and solve all the issues in case there are some.
Very cool.
So when mentioning that we're having 250 test bikes, this is the place where all the test bikes get stored. And so we are quite flexible. When our event team approaches to the facilities coming back from an event, they can quickly resort their transporters and lorries, and then they are up to action again.
That's a candy shop.
It's a candy shop, huh? So this is our workshop. This is actually where all the prototyping happens. So Ada, for example, is one of our 2 workshop mechanics.
Okay.
And those guys, they prepare all the prototypes. This is our serial development department, our R&D, research and development department, where all the serial development products are in the making. We have the welcome desk downstairs. We made this more or less like a relaxation area, lunch area. We also have the nice beans, like organic.
How much time you spend in this corner?
Too much, I would say. If you ask our bosses, we spend too much time in here. So what we created is the Superfit. So Superfit is fully focused on the perfect fit from rider to bike. That's why we call it rider to bike approach. And there's the big difference to what actually the industry is used to do, as the industry is used to fit the bike to the rider. And I think it's obvious then when asking the question, why do you need to fit the bike to the rider? Because there's obviously a certain weakness on the frame, as the frame sizes do not perfectly fit the riders. So you have to compensate weak spots on the frame via components.
Okay.
But when you develop the frame from the beginning on with the rider in center, saying that we actually do not develop the frame, we actually develop riders. And we develop riders per sizing groups. And so each group per riding style results into a rider who's sitting on a bike that actually doesn't exist. But as soon as the rider exists in a two-dimensional space, you actually have defined all the contact points. And so the frame itself and its geometry is just a logical consequence out of the rider's position on the bike, as well as certain estimations based on experience. For example, the head angle related to riding style, the cockpit height related to riding style, and so on. In addition to that, we have our user-centric approach. For example, how to enable the user, for example, a mechanic in the shop, to make his life easier, how to enable him to change the cable routing, the cables faster, whilst having the same aesthetics, the same optics like an internal cable routing, because I think that's what we all love. Yeah. Because it simply looks good. But when working on a bike with integrated cable routing, we all know that's a hassle. Yeah. So what we did is we routed the cables externally, but the down tube has a special shape where the cable can go into, and then they get covered with a nice down tube cover. And as I get the down tube cover off the frame,
which is completely tool free.
Absolutely tool free. So you have a super nice and fast access to all the cables. You can get the cables off the frame easily. So we also came up with a special approach how to adjust the bike in detail to your specific riding style or to your specific body dimension, like the adjustable saddle. Okay. So for sure we all know
everyone has a different width. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have an adjustable saddle. We have 2 screws down here, which you can open, and then you can simply adjust the saddle width. So we developed grips together with our partner Prosom Privé. We can adjust the back sweep of the bar by turning the eccentric grips. Okay. So the grips are drilled eccentrically. Okay. So if you turn
it's
it
not
to
straight.
Exactly, they are not straight. So if you turn it towards the front, the bar end moves to the front and the other way around. So an active rider can ride with a more straighter, with less back sweep, whilst a passive rider who tends to have the elbows close to the body, he can have more back sweep, which is a nice thing to your wrists. Okay. So both riding styles are covered with one cockpit.
Very interesting.
As explained before, when I explained the Superfit concept as a holistic approach to design the rider to bike, it was actually the logical consequence that our product resulted into a straight seat tube. As you know from many products out there currently, when having just a slight bend on the seat tube, that results into a shift of the seat tube angle the further you pull out the saddle. And especially for people with longer legs, that's an absolutely no-go as the saddle moves to the rear quite dramatically. Yeah. So it's a big benefit that our seat tube is straight, and it actually connects to the center of the BB, but to gain more space for tire clearance, we shifted the seat tube parallelly to the front by 20 millimeters, and we compensated that by a 20 millimeter offset seat post. Okay. So you can be sure that you seat tube angle, how further you will lift it up, it always stays consistent. And that's super unique. Furthermore, thanks to the straight seat tube, we were able to implement such a great product like the 8-pin seat post, which is on the one hand the most lightweight post on the market, but also the post with the longest stroke. Yeah. And this is also consumer centered because the adjustment of the seat height is so simple. That's it. So that's the adjustment of the seat height. There's no need to open a quick release. There's no need to look if the saddle is straight, because the saddle stays straight at all time, because there is a guidance in the tube.
Yeah.
And you have the big stroke.
So Maxi, thanks for the tour.
You're welcome.
Like, you work in an amazing environment.
It's really
and
nice.
Yeah, we're really excited to see what is coming next for Gus and the whole Axel group. Well, that's all for today, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell down here so you will get notifications for any future episode, and see you next time.